Hey man, hello, good morning, welcome to Football at It. It is Saturday. We always bring with the Football at It news, what has been happening for past week, and again this weekend. So we're gonna check it out in terms of the fixture of the weekend and see in terms of the teams, which teams are playing and which teams do we think there's a possibility of winning. In terms of the odds as well, we're gonna check it out, the odds, which team has a big odds, just to give you a little bit of information about how to actually bet. I mean, recently I realized that football is so interesting when you actually bet. If you don't bet, it feels like you're just watching football. But football in betting, it's actually very interesting. So I'm gonna show you some of my ticket that I lost. It trapped me last week. In fact, midweek, the games that comes midweek, yeah, trapped me hard. So it was tough. But again, we don't give up. We'll bet again and see what is gonna happening. I mean, my team, it's been horrible. But we're gonna go deeper into that and talk about Arsenal Football Club and what is going on in Arsenal. Again, we're gonna talk about a little bit of local football, what is going on. I mean, crazy stories that have been happening for past two weeks. I mean, there's a Saleng story that are actually cooking, and what most interesting me the story is that I've seen a lot of local players really pull up the socks when it comes to local football, South African football, pulling up the socks. And the reason why, because there's the African Cup of the Nation that is coming, and there's a World Cup qualifier that we're gonna play. Pretty much we might qualify to World Cup, and everyone is putting their hands and said, hey man, maybe I might be part of the squad of going to World Cup. Speaking about Africa Cup of the Nation, we're gonna talk about the crazy story that comes from Jimmy Carragher. Jimmy Carragher actually disrespected the Africa football, and I'm gonna go deeper about that because, guys, I'm not gonna lie, man. If people like Jimmy Carragher, they have a very high platform, sitting in a very biggest media platform, and stop talking nonsense about football, about African football. Again, to me, after I hear the story, I didn't really think it's about African football, disrespecting of African football. I feel like he's just, trying to kill more, dog. Trying to kill more Salah, trying to kill African player who can be and who's supposed to be the Ballon d'Or player of the season this time around. So, guys, keep tuning in. Welcome to Football at It. As I said, my name is Che Yusuf. It's Saturday. It's gonna get down about football today. All right, man. All right. Let's start maybe with the local football in terms of the fixture of this weekend. So in terms of the local football fixture, there's Magesi's playing SuperSport United. Mamelodi Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs is a very big game. It's gonna be at FNB Stadium, which is the biggest stadium, soccer city stadium in South Africa. That is in Johannesburg. TS Galaxy is playing with the Lamontville Golden Arrows. Team yasekhaya le Lamontville Golden Arrows. So yeah, shout out Lamontville. And then we have Malumo Galaxy versus Orlando Pirates. That's my team. Zamagebula all the way. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be away game to Malumo Galaxy. But what I think Magesi versus SuperSport United. I think SuperSport United is gonna win. SuperSport, in fact, they are actually coming from 4-1 win against Kaizer Chiefs last week. So they beat Kaizer Chiefs 4-1. So pretty much they're gonna win against Magesi. Although we had a last week video that we were talking about Magesi and the rise of Magesi, but again they are not performing well when it comes to the league. So there, SuperSport, obviously, if those guys that they bet, you jump in on a bet on a SuperSport already, you can see it's 2 point something in terms of the odds of SuperSport. So very good bets, or odds, in fact. Mamelodi Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs. Sundowns is 11 points clear on top of the league. 11. I'm laughing although I'm Orlando Pirates, né? But it's tough, gents. It's tough, guys. 11 points clear. I mean, these guys, they're just scoring though. Like we thought maybe the team is gonna, not accelerating after Rulani, leave, but we realized that man, these guys they're just scoring from anywhere. The way Tebogo Mokoena are playing, I mean, Ribeiro, it's actually already contender for player of the season. People they were talking about Mafukeng is just slipped. Is not performing well at the moment. Rebel is scoring every goal. I mean, so obviously, Sundowns. How many goals can I predict the score? I think it's gonna be 4-1. 4-1. Shisampama, even 5. Shisampama ngangenada. Mara 4-1. It's something that I'm predicting it. TS Galaxy versus Lamontville Golden Arrows. Team Yasekai is not playing well. Lamontville, I think good TS Galaxy is gonna win. Oh, it might be a draw. You know these PSL draws in which Lama team. Sometimes I bet Lama team, to be honest. So there's a lot of draws that we always see. Maybe it's nil that game. Yeah, in fact, that game I'll put a nil. But Galaxy has a little bit of advantage because they're playing at home. So Malumo Gallants versus Orlando Pirates. Samakepula, we're playing home, but I think Pirates will take this one. But it's not gonna be a big margin in terms of the scores. I think it will be 2-1 because Pirates really hasn't been performing very well for past 2-3 games. I think, yeah. So I truly think Pirates will take it. So yeah, that's it when it comes to local fixture that is happening now. But when it comes to local news, there's a story about Monapole Saleng that is not playing at Orlando Pirates. And if you hear about the story, they're talking about Monapole Saleng was supposed to go to Egypt to Al Ahly. Al Ahly. People they said Al Ali. It's not Al Ali, it's Al Ahly. Supposed to go to Al Ali. It's the same as how you pronounce Gaza. People they said Gaza. It's not Gaza. It's Gaza. Okay. So Al Ahly. He was supposed to go to Al Ahly, and then Al Ahly they're supposed to sell Pesitao. They didn't manage to sell Pesitao. Pesitao went for free to Qatar. He started playing in Qatar. So the videos it's really, it's okay. He's playing. At least he has a game time. But then at Al Ali was just sitting at a bench, so that was a challenge. But now at least they can be able to play. So that was the deal that Pesi should be sold to Al Ali, and then Monapole Saleng is gonna go to Al Ali to replace Pesi Tao. But that didn't happen, so they didn't actually sell Pesi. That means they didn't have money or a space for a foreign player to come in, so that the Monapole Saleng can come in. From there, people who are actually advising Monapole Saleng, they're the ones that are actually not really give him a good advice, because he's supposed to be training with a team. I mean, right now, if he was training with a team and fit, maybe Al Ali they could have, because Pesitao has gone, maybe they could have taken. But they can see that this guy is not even training, he's not playing. So it's really, really, crazy story. But that's what happening. Monapole Saleng was supposed to go to Al Ali, but it didn't happen. All right, man. You still with me, Che Yusuf? We're still at football at it. We are at football at it. Okay. All right. So the other interesting story that I wanted to talk about is how players has been actually lifting their socks. I watch so many local games in South Africa right now. The guys that are really performing well. I've watched the game with the Wydad Casablanca where Tembinkosi Launch is actually playing on Wydad Casablanca. He's now starting playing. He's now starting seeing. I'm seeing combination play that he has. There's also Cassius Mailula at Wydad Casablanca. So I think this is very good when we see players that are actually moving and they're actually getting a game time and they're playing. I mean, I saw a game of who is this guy? The defender, man. The player is a defender, but they were playing against Manchester United. I forgot the name of it, but he used to play for Kaiser Chiefs. Even him, I can see, the performance wise, defending well, and before he was not that good. at Kaiser Chiefs. But now the club that is playing, I think, is playing overseas. Interesting. I've seen Campbell, the young Campbell at Bruges, at Club Bruges. Really, really, he made his debut for senior team last week. I think it was midweek game. If I am not mistaken. But he made a senior debut for Club Bruges. Although the South African Bafana coach Hugo Bruce was saying that no, they're still young. You have to wait. Give them time. Give them time. Do that to play. You see, look at players at the Pirates. You need to give them time to play. Maybe 1 year, 2 years. Then after that, they can go to Europe. But they can't just go to Barcelona. Mafukeng, they want him to Barcelona. He must not play there. He must wait a little bit and play more. 2 more years, one more, then he can go there and play, right? But maybe Club Brugge think differently. Recently, he was actually at Club Brugge. He was on holiday. Maybe they think differently. Maybe they say, let's give him a chance. Let's see how he's gonna perform. But I saw him. They put him, I think, around 75 minutes, 80 minutes, last 15 minutes. But he plays. He had a shot on off targets, but again, you can see the crosses, combination play. You can see that no, it's gonna be very, very fantastic. So that's what interesting me most is that the players, they are actually lifting their socks up because of these major two tournaments that are coming: Africa Cup of the Nation as well as World Cup qualify, which is we think we are going to qualify for that World Cup. We already of I think 6 points. 6 points or 7 points already in the bag. We're ahead of Nigeria, which is also one of the team that is part of our group. So we're gonna see how it's gonna roll out. I think the games they're starting on March, and I'm seeing a lot of players really playing well. So it's gonna give a Hugo Bruce a headache, good headache, to see which one is gonna take, and it's gonna have a lot of controversy that we're going to see. A lot of controversy they're gonna come out when it comes to these tournaments that are coming. So that's when it comes to the stories about the local football. But the major stories about football right now, it's what Jimmy Carragher says. What Jimmy Carragher says horribly, and I'm gonna have to take you guys to some of the comments of people, footballers, that they made about the Jimmy Carragher. But just to make it short, so what happened is there was a game of Liverpool. Obviously, Liverpool is winning. Everything is good. So there was a conversation amongst those commentators or panelists for analyzing the analyst of the game. And then Jimmy Carragher says Mo Salah, he cannot win Ballon d'Or because of they are not going to win Africa Cup of the Nation, and at the same time they are actually Africa Cup of the Nation is not a big tournament, right? And that pisses off a lot of former players, a lot of legends like Didier Drogba, Michael Obi, Michael Essien, a lot of legends that played in the European football, that plays in English Premier League, and that contributed in English Premier League. By the way, it's 47% of black players that are in English Premier League contributing for that league and contributing for that league to be where it is right now. And for the person who played that league, like a Jimmy Carragher, he never won anything with the Liverpool, he never won anything with England. To make such comment, it pisses off a lot of people. It pisses off even me. I'm pissed off. Pisses off a lot of people. You cannot say that Africa Cup of the Nation is not that big just because you're a white person, or just because you play in England, or you played in England, or just because you guys you watch Euros. Africa Cup of the Nation and the Africa Cup of the Nation started before the Euros. And you cannot tell us that Mo Salah can't win the Ballon d'Or just because he played for Egypt, just because he's from Africa, right? George Weah won the Ballon d'Or, even his team was not even playing in Africa Cup of the Nation. It was a performance that he was performing in AC Milan when he was playing at AC Milan, the performance that he's playing for Champions League, for Mo Salah, for Liverpool, for English Premier League, final for all those Carabao Cup, they're in finals and so breaking records and records. He already breaking almost a lot of records, you know. That's the type of a performance that the person deserve a Ballon d'Or. I mean, if we look at the Ballon d'Or of last season, which is his injured entire season, he just won the Ballon d'Or, then get injured and chill at home. The player from Manchester City. If we compare Rodrigo, is it Rodrigo? God, how to pronounce his name? If we compare that play, and then we compare that play with Mo Salah, and which play is actually contributing so much in English football, on which player has won more games, which plays even better, when it comes to English football. So for Jimmy Carragher to say that, very, very disappointing, and pretty much a lot of people that say Jimmy Carragher has to removed from Sky Sports, out of Sky Sports panelist and whatever, because of that comment, and he has to apologize to Africa. In fact, people, they're taking it far that CAF, Confederation of African Football, should actually tell Jimmy Carragher or send a statement to Jimmy Carragher that he must apologize for the statement that we do. So we're going to check it out, a little bit of what people are saying about the incident of Jimmy Carragher. That was a bullshit of Jimmy Carragher to say that Africa Cup of Nations is not big, is not strong, it doesn't produce good players. I mean, Africa Cup of Nations has everything, guys, has a flavor. All right, we dance when we are going. If you watch Africa Cup of the football, maybe you will change your mindset, right? We don't just come on a panel going to play football and we're angry to each other. We're dancing, we're hitting the drums, we're singing. When we score, look at the celebration. Look at George Weah's celebration. Look at all these players. I mean, Diouf celebration, was playing for Liverpool. Look at how he was celebrating about Diouf. That's at the African flavor. That's how Africa we do. We play, we grow up playing from the streets. We take that street football to the stadium. Everyone understand the flavor of the football that we have. And it's not going to be like the Euros. And the Euros, they are way, way, way far away to actually make the flavor of the whole flavor of African football and the whole flavor of African tournament. So for that, Jimmy Carragher, you are very, 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 very wrong. And I'm very disappointed for a legend like you to speak such type of thing. But anyway, let's jump in and see what other people they are saying about Jimmy Carragher's incident.
To come out and make such statement. This guy says so many things on TV.
Okay.
No, never won the Premier League. Analyzes teams and tell them, they have to win the Premier League, but you haven't won it. You don't know what it takes to win the fucking Premier League. You don't know what it takes to win, with your national team. You can't discredit such a wonderful, wonderful tournament that, people in Africa die for the African Cup of Nations. Children, kids grow up watching their idols, watching their country, supporting their country. Because the African Cup of Nations is what inspires them. The next generation, the influx of African players coming into the Premier League, coming to Europe to play, is because of they grew up watching the African Cup of Nations.
I could be wrong on this, John, and I'm speaking very much to Jamie now. I would wonder if he's ever been down to Africa to actually attend.
After this comment, I don't think you will ever be welcome to go to Africa. There's no chance.
Educate oneself, because I think, and I've seen and I've read an awful lot of the comments based on what Jamie said, and I think one of the issues that I would certainly raise is the fact that I've seen a lot of people say, but he makes a valid point. I've seen a lot of outrage, but I have seen a lot of people have said,
well, he made a valid point about the structure of the African tournament or the African football. Yes, we can sit here. I've always said it on this podcast. I've always said it. I've always been honest here and said it. That yes, the corruption is there. The higher authorities can do much better. The federation can do much better. If our football is being run properly, if the people in charge run the football properly, everything is in structure. Yes, do you think the players from Africa would be rushing to come down to Europe to play? No, they wouldn't, because we celebrate, we worship, we enjoy our football back home. The physicality, the power, the speed, the flair that we have in our game that we bring to the Premier League. The players like Jejo Kocha that everybody tune in to watch. The skills that he brought to the Premier League. DJ Drogba, the power, the power, the goal scoring. Michael Essien, the power.
What a player.
George Weah, Yaya Toure.
Unreal.
Our generation, what we help to grow the Premier League. You know, the influx of players that helped build Chelsea Football Club, which is one of the biggest clubs right now in the Premier League. The African players we had back in our days.
Yeah. Jeremy as well.
Jeremy Zeta. You can't sit there and discredit such a massive tournament. I have always said it. So you're telling me that the Euros is way bigger because it's the Euros.
But this is the point I want to get to. It is seen as bigger to Europeans because it is.
You gotta expand your you know.
All right, man.
Everything.
Coach Gavin Hunt and local SuperSport panelist, responding to Jimmy Carragher's issue and still talking about the Jimmy Carragher's issue. Let's just check it out for a few minutes.
Former Liverpool defender.
He was on the panel for the Liverpool game when Salah was doing well, and they were debating it, and he said Salah unfortunately plays for Egypt, and they won't win a major tournament. So Michael Richards was there, and
that will count against him
but
to becoming a Ballon d'Or.
But so he actually downplayed the importance of an AFCON. So Michael Richards and Sturridge, the former Liverpool player, were there, and they took offense to say, how can you not rate AFCON as a major tournament? It's the same level as the Euros or a CONMEBOL tournament. So it's like downplaying once again the African tournaments, And then he went further on when Rio Ferdinand also attacked him, and he said, Rio is a clown. But then that's when all the African players who played, the legends, came out strongly against it to say that no, you got to give AFCON the credibility it deserves. And you look at the last AFCON was amazing. So, when you come out like that and have these biases.
But he doesn't think it's a major tournament.
No, exactly. So we got to teach him about that. You remember 2 years ago on the show we discussed it, I think it was Jurgen Klopp who made that comment when he was at Liverpool, when he couldn't get players released. So they've got to learn to respect it because, the stat I told you, 43% of the players who play in the EPL are black players. Majority of them come from Africa.
43%.
So how do you ignore a stat like that?
Your thought?
43% of fixture. We saw what happened in terms of, Jimmy Carragher stories and the legends and all panelists in terms of football. Actually, talking about what happened to Jimmy Carragher. I think for now we can say that it's really, really wrong what he did, and we hope that he will revert back for the words that he says, or maybe apologize, for the words that he says. But again, in terms of the fixture, we have English FA Cup that Arsenal has kicked out long ago. I mean, I even forget to talk about Arsenal. It's crazy, man. But we have Crystal Palace versus Millwall, Preston North versus Burnley, Bournemouth versus Wolverhampton, Manchester City versus Plymouth. This Plymouth game, I was watching the Banter League, the new podcast that's come out, the football podcast from, Podcast and Chill. They were talking about, the Plymouth. They were laughing about the Plymouth because he's playing Manchester City, and I'm smelling fishy there. Something is gonna happen because Plymouth is the one that kicked out Liverpool. Liverpool is no longer in FA, although we're talking about Mo Salah and so on. It's because of Plymouth. So let's see what's gonna happen. But you can see the odds of Plymouth: 26 odds versus just 1. Draw is 12. crazy. I'm gonna bet this one. This one definitely I will bet it because hey, it might happen, man. It might happen. So that's when it comes to FA Cup. Not that much, a lot of games, but few games. Spanish La Liga, Girona versus Catadivoc, Rayo Vallecano versus Sevilla, Real Betis versus Real Madrid. Betis versus Madrid. Madrid, of course, Madrid. Mbappe has been scoring really, really well. I mean, he scored hat trick against Man City. You know, the caveman, dangerous. You know, Italian football, Atlanta versus SSC Venezia, Napoli versus Internazionale Milano, Inter Milano versus Napoli. And yeah, man, there's another story again when it comes to Turkish football. About Jose Mourinho, the racist comment about Jose Mourinho that he made as well, it's been shaking, you know, entire world. A lot of people they're saying that, you know, Jose Mourinho is not type of guy that can actually, you know, have the racist comments. But hey, you never know, man. You truly just don't know what people can say, what people can say. Because if I heard the story correctly, it says Jose Mourinho was after interview was talking that the other bench players were jumping up and down like monkeys, right? So you said players are jumping up and down like monkeys. That's clearly, you know, a racist comment. So yeah, man, people also they are worried. I mean, I saw a lot of players, legends, including Meka Obi, defending Jose Mourinho, but I was like, man, you don't have to defend the man so much because the man understand and knows what he's saying. He knows when you refer monkey to people, especially if there's black people involved. That's crazy racism. That's crazy racist comment, you know. So I don't know, man, but the man could have stopped. When it comes to other German Bundesliga, Borussia Mönchengladbach is playing with the Heidenvik, and what happened here, man? It's taking me to the odds or to select. So in German, there's not much bigger games. I think I can see FC St. Paul versus Borussia Dortmund. Maybe that one interesting. Eintracht Frankfurt versus Bayern Leverkusen. This team, Eintracht Frankfurt, you know, there's a few teams that a lot of people they're not understanding, but these guys they are massive, you know, full of talent. Eintracht Frankfurt and Real Sociedad, team like Mainz, team like Girona. These teams they have really, you know, great talent. Paris Saint-Germain versus Relay when it comes to French football. Netherlands, what we have, the biggest one, PSV Eindhoven versus Go Ahead Eagles. That one you can bet. Eindhoven, I think, is gonna win as well. So yeah, man, that's how it's looking when it comes to overseas fixture. And it is Saturday today. We still at football at it, and we believe that maybe we can put some bets on this on Supersport. But come on, man, Supersport, please put through. You know, give a little bit of some sponsor here, man, at football at it. Come on, you know, we are teaching people how to bet here. Come on. All right, man. Thank you. All right. So when it comes to Arsenal Football Club, truly, definitely, I don't think Arsenal is gonna win the cup. We lost it. You know, we had so many games that we could have, you know, do better. Management itself, they could have buy striker, buy players to back up, you know, all these players. We didn't do that, and there's no way Liverpool slides, you know, 11 points or 13 points difference, you know, for us to catch up. Although there's more games, but there's nothing. Liverpool has just taken the Premier League. We should just forget. So that's it. When it comes, I don't want to add a lot of things because I'm very pissed off when it comes to Arsenal. I'm very pissed off with the Jimmy Carragher. I'm very pissed off with Jose Mourinho's racist comments. I'm just pissed off with all these people. You know, I'm pissed off with the Orlando Pirates without putting Monapole Saleng or whatever crisis that they have. They should find a way of resolving it. We can't have a player that is going to go to Africa Cup of the Nation, or we want him to Africa Cup of the Nation, including the World Cup, and sitting not without him, you know, not playing. So I'm just pissed off. for all this nonsense that is happening in the football world. But again, thank you very much for actually watching the video. It was the Football Artist. My name is Che Yusuf. Let's check it out again next week. This is the Football Artist. Thank you.